My 8-year-old daughter told me she hates being alone with her mom because she's always yelling at her. I've asked my wife how everything is going when I'm not around and she says things are fine. Wibta if I put spy cams around the house to see for myself? Story 1. I love my wife and have never had a reason to not trust her in all the years I know her. She has been the most supportive and loving person in my life, and until now I thought she was a great mother. 2 nights ago I was watching TV with our 7-year-old daughter and she suddenly told me she needed to tell me something, but I had to swear I couldn't tell her mom. I asked her why couldn't her mother know, and she instantly dropped the subject. I had to prod her for a few minutes, but she wouldn't say what it was until I swore I wouldn't tell anybody. She finally said that her mom hates her and sometimes when they're along will yell and insult her for making too much noise or not doing one of her chores, even cussing her out. She started crying as she said everything, and I told her I'd figure something out without telling her mom what she told me. For context, my wife works from home and I'm a pilot, so they spend a lot time together where it's just the 2 of them, and before this, I thought they got along great. When I'm at home, I've seen our daughter make a ruckus while my wife is on the clock, and if I don't ask her to keep it down, my wife has, and it's always been in a firm way without yelling or insults. It's also quick and to the point, but my daughter makes it sound like when it's just the 2 of them, she gets completely berated. Now, I'm trying to figure out what's the logical course of action here. I feel I should just have a talk with my wife, but on the off chance she's not the person I think she is and is actually verbally abusive, she'll just pretend to be innocent and then take it out on my daughter behind my back. One of my best friends and my brother both told me I should just buy some spy cams and let them record for a week or so, and if it's as frequent as my daughter says, I should be able to catch her on the act. But I feel guilty going behind my wife's back, and I'm worried that if she's innocent and finds the cams, she'll feel betrayed and violated for being recorded in our home without her consent. First comment. It's a fine line you're walking. You want to believe that your wife is the great mom you think she is. But you have to put your daughter first. She confided in you with difficulty about something. She may be exaggerating, I hope so, or just think her mom is being unfair. Ask her specifically some of the things her mom says. Have her describe an incident or 2. This will help give you an idea of the severity, or if it's just your wife being a normal parent. If what you hear concerns you, then seriously consider some spy cams. Speaking to your wife will not really get you the answer, because if she is mistreating your daughter, she's hardly going to admit it, and the chances she would take it out on your daughter are high if she's being abusive. Outward appearances mean little. Everybody loved my mom to death and she provided childcare for many of them. However, she emotionally and physically babysat her own children behind closed doors, never in front of others. UMBTIA. Second comment. When I was a child, I confided in my grandmother about ABSA. She talked with my mom. My mom told her I was lying and my grandmother dropped it. I got beat so bad for that, I never reached out again. Your daughter confided in you. Everyone who is saying to talk to your wife. I mean, sure, but if she tells you it's a lie and nothing's wrong, what will you do then? Your daughter deserves to be heard and believed. It was probably really hard for her to confide in you. If you break that trust she gave you, then I think that makes you the Third comment. TA. Put up the spy cameras and make sure if you catch any ABSE from your wife that the videos are saved somewhere your wife can't access them. There is of course always the chance your kid is lying. Who knows? Why could even be that they just want you home more often, so are willing to lie to make you stay home more. But then again, very good chance they are telling the truth, but you do need some type of proof, and hidden cameras are probably your best bet. That will also give you ammunition in case the wife is really abusive and you need it for divorce or in order to protect your daughter. Story 2. Ada for considering breaking up with my fiancé because she talked bad about my sister. I 36M have been together with my fiancé 38F for 4 years. We are in the middle of planning our wedding and are just about to send out invites. However, I am not so sure I want to go through with the wedding anymore. For some backstory, my sister 32F got pregnant at 18 and her boyfriend left. She had her baby at 19. Her daughter is now 13 years old and she is one of the smartest, most well-behaved, and one of the greatest kids I have ever met. My sister had a rough time, but with the help from our grandma, she managed to get through college and land a great job. She has done so much great things, and her being a young single mother never made her a bad person. My fiancé has always been quite distant with my sister since she found out this. A year into our relationship, we were hanging out with my sister, Dr. Ng King, and talking. She, from nowhere, blurted out, "Sue, why did you just not abort her?" It caused an argument, but me and my sister forgave her for it because we chalked it up to her just being Dr. MK. But she has always had these backhanded things to say to my sister, but my sister always assured me it did not matter. Last Saturday, she was on the phone with her friend. She was in the living room and I was in the kitchen. I think that she either talked loud without noticing or just did not know I could hear her. She was talking about my sister being a failure, that if she ever had a daughter that did the same, she would make sure that she was shunned and would make sure that the baby died. She said that it was sad that my sister was such a stupid F-king bitch and decided to ruin her life over a kid, that it is not even all that. She went on and on, laughing and saying hurtful things about my sister. I was disgusted with her. I talked with her about it on Monday and she went off on me invading her privacy, that I had no respect for her and that I had no right to listen to her conversation. I told her if that were her true feelings, and she said that I was even more stupid than my sister if I didn't realize that she has always felt that way. We ended the conversation there and she has been acting like if nothing happened. Would I be a jerk if I cancel our wedding because of this? Is this even a valid reason? I love my sister and I know that she is not a failure, but hearing her talk about my family in that way hurts me, and I did not think that about her. How can I spend the rest of my life with someone who thinks that way about my own family? First comment, NTA. Run dude, what she said to your sister and what you overheard was some borderline psycho-sh HT, and yeah, you didn't realize it earlier because she's been hiding it. She feels secure since you're about to get married, so the mask slipped. If it really was it, didn't you know I always felt this way, she wouldn't have reacted the way she did when she found out you overheard. Would she have gone off about her privacy if you overheard her talking about picking up milk on the way home? If it wasn't, the reaction would have been more like, yeah, and I've made no secret about how I feel about your sister. No, her reaction was for something you weren't supposed to hear. Fortunately, you did. GTFO dude. What she thinks and says about your family is enough. Where this will escalate to over the years if you get married should scare the ST out of you. Second comment. NTA for being mad, but you are by far TA if you don't immediately cancel the wedding. Like right now, LOL. I'm not one with much self-control, but if I'd heard that from my fiancé, I'd probably spit in their face. The fact you're questioning if it's the right idea means you need to grow a spine for your sister's sake. What an evil cow. She is dripping with jealousy at your sister's successful life, and you don't need her spitting venom at your sister because of her bruised ego. The 38-year-old woman can't handle that your sister managed to raise an entire child while living her life and enjoying it, and she'll have a fully grown child by the time she reaches your fiancé's age. It is pure, unadulterated jealousy, and you can't marry someone comparing themselves to your sibling. Third comment. TA. What she has said about your sister and niece is absolutely disgusting, but for me the worst bit is her saying that if she ever had a daughter that did the same, she would make sure she was shunned and would make sure that the baby died. What sort of psychopath would say that? I assume with you two being engaged that children are in the cards for the future. That means that the daughter she is talking about would also be your daughter and grandchild. Would you really want to be with someone that would treat your children like that? Mistakes happen. I have a oopsie baby as well, but she is the best thing I have ever done along with my other children, and by the sounds of it, your sister has done the best she could possibly do, and I am proud of her. If you carry on with this relationship with your fiancé, then you seriously run the risk of ruining your relationship with your sister and niece. Run as fast as possible from her whilst you still can. An insult we say around where I live to someone who's an absolutely awful human being, they would have been better off being swallowed, and I think that applies to your fiancé here. Story 3. Ada for not wanting to be involved in my child's life. So I 25M know that title sounds bad. I'm going to try and be as tactful and honest as I possibly can be. I've been hooking up with a friend of mine, 25F, for the last 2 years. We are strictly friends with benefits. I don't want to pursue a relationship with her, nor does she with me. Well, recently she told me she is pregnant and that she wants to keep the baby. To say I was shocked was an understatement. The baby is definitely mine because I'm the only person she has been SL-epping with for the past year or so, by her own words, and I trust her. I was confused why she wanted to keep it, as a BOION is legal in our state. But obviously I couldn't do much. I know I am going to be on the hook for child support. I told her I'd pay whatever child support I need to, but that otherwise I have no intention to be in this child's life. I know this sounds heartless, Reddit, but my life is really quite simple. I live with my parents. I go to work, I come home, I play video games or go out Dr. N. King with my buddies. I'm not really ready or interested in big responsibility at this stage of my life. I still feel like a kid in many ways. So I just don't really want to raise a child. It would be such a huge stressor on my life. I told all of this to my FWB and she really got quite mad at me and said I need to be involved more than the basic minimum payments. I really disagreed with her and questioned why does she even want to go through with this? I see no upside to this, especially as we aren't even in a relationship. Why would she voluntarily choose to be a mother under these circumstances? I do plan to have a family one day when I meet the right person. I just don't want kids under these circumstances. It's not how I want or imagined it to go down. In my mind, I'll be in my 30s, have my own house, and then have kids with someone I actually love. And I plan to do this. So anyway, she called me Aita here. I know I may sound selfish to a degree, but I am really just not wanting to change my life so drastically. First comment. If you have always wrapped it up as you saw in the comments, please get a DNA test before signing anything or legally accepting responsibility. If she wants to be a mom, her choice, but you are NTA. You might regret your decision later, but that will be your problem.